If you've been listening to me for the last 10 years or even the last year, 6 months, you know I've been saying that the globalists stated in the 70s with the Trilateral Commission public statements that they would create a euro, as they've done. They would then create a union in North America, then larger, that they would destroy the dollar, that they would then have a currency crisis that went on for several years or longer, as long as a decade, between the dollar and the euro and other competing currencies, and then have a global benchmark on a new global cashless society currency that they could fully control and manipulate. And if you weren't a good little globalist, they turn your national ID card off. If you're not a good little globalist, they're going to have debtor prisons again. You walk outside your house, or even if you're homeless, the camera face scans you, police come and pick you up and put you in a labor camp. They're now proposing this, talking about it. So everything they said decades ago, they're now implementing. And this is a report from the New York Times today. And it says, seeking tools to calm a market. And, of course, they couch this as the government's trying to help you. But listen carefully. They go on to report that we had a 59.91 fall just this last week in the Dow at 12,099.30. And they say that Friday the Dow in the next year could sink, this is the New York Times, to 6,000 by the end of the year as the country slides into deep recession. And it goes on from there. But see, even that is just the surface. If you have the dollar at less than half the value it was in 2000, this is very simple 2 + 2 = 4 stuff. If you look at that, then you realize that the stock market is really below 6,000. So if it drops to 6,000 now, but in real worth is only worth 6,000, currently it'll be worth less than 3,000. And I get emails from people saying, I'm a stockbroker, I'm a whatever. You don't need to talk about this. It may be true, but it destroys confidence. And, this is going to look, I'm not the one that set up this fiat system. We got the IMF World Bank documents when their chief economist, Nobel Prize winner Joseph Stiglitz, quit in 2002. And there was the IMF saying we've bankrupted all these third world countries. And then once they're imploded, they like that. Once they totally fall apart and have a depression, the big central banks that still issue the currencies and have the foreign strong currencies they control can come in and literally fire sale everything and buy it up. Okay? That's why they've done this to third world country after third world country after third world country. And that's why now it is starting to come home to roost here. And they're doing it by design. Now the very same global interest. These are not capitalists. These are not free market. They're robber barons. They're monopoly men who control the issuance of currency and credit. Okay, and that's why they run everything and own everything. I mean, everything in the free market, all the supposed wealth that they don't control is only about 20%. They have 80% of everything. Now they want it all. And to do that, they have to have a global slide into deep recession and then depression. They're going to call a depression a recession. We have not been out of a recession for decades. The debt goes up, corporate, government, private. The amount of hours you have to work, your standard of living in reality goes down. Just because your house that was $200,000 is now $500,000, that's devalued currency. Everybody's leveraged out on their credit cards. This was all done and precipitated, and this is in their own documents. This is what's so incredible. By design to get you into this position. Now, they suddenly announce. Remember, on a conspiracy theory a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, talking about the exact issues you can now read in the news. But they spin it and say, don't worry, we'll freeze interest rates. Well, if they freeze interest rates at 5%, 5.5%, then the world that's already running away from the dollar isn't going to continue to buy securities in the dollar, and the dollar's going to drop even more. And they've now made the decision to have another rate cut. And, of course, the dollar went down in the last few weeks, and gold went up to over $910 an ounce. That's because gold didn't really go up. The dollar went down. And so you've lost more than half your value, half your savings, half of everything you've got in the last 7 years. And they're having debates about 1 or 2% tax cuts or tax credits on your mortgages or freezing mortgages. And they're saying that it all spirals around bad debt with the mortgages. But that's only one problem. What have I been saying for 3 years? Since we learned in 2005, 2006, I went to the Bilderberg Group where the 125 richest people in the world, the royalty, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they're all there. We had people inside. We got the data out, and we told you what was going to happen. We said they're going to kill the housing market. They want to bring the market down by design to start the unraveling of the economy so they can come in after they've blown it out and loot. Now, those shows are all on the internet. The articles we wrote are all at prisonplanet.com. I'm on record, always right, always on target, because I read what they say they're going to do to us. It isn't hard, and I'm tired of it. It's time for you to find out who our real enemy is and get mad. Because if you don't get mad and take action, they're going to go ahead and decide to take us down to zero. I don't want to be a slave. Stand up to them. Don't you want to be free? We'll be